Hi, I'm Ruth Mitchell, and today I want to share with you the safety of using essential oils, doTerra essential oils, with dogs. There are some important considerations that we want to keep in mind. First of all, not all essential oils are created equal. There are many oils on the market that are advertised and labeled as 100% pure, but the problem is many of these have been contaminated, which means they've been exposed to either pesticides or insecticides, or they may have been adulterated, which means that a small amount of the oil is put in the bottle, and then either some other kind of essential oil is put in there with it, or maybe some other types of carrier oils, or even like vegetable oil. There may also be some preservatives put in there, and that will make it very toxic to the animals, which is why we say to avoid them. It makes the oils much less expensive, which is why so many people say, well, I want to buy this at the drugstore or the grocery store or the big box store because it's less expensive. But the problem is it can also be very toxic. These are the stories you hear on the internet about, oh, essential oils killed my dog, or you should never use essential oils on dogs. That's not true. If you are using the right oils in the correct manner, they can be totally safe. And the only safe oils that I recommend for pets are doTerra oils because they are third-party tested as well as undergoing at least 54 in-house tests, and they are certified pure tested grade oils. Now, it's always interesting to me that people will rush to blame essential oils for any problems that they find with their dog. They don't think about all the dangerous substances that are in their home. Things like candles, air fresheners, cleaning solutions, fabric refreshers, all those things, they may have been contaminated or adulterated. And many of them are now putting essential oils in their products, and the public is all excited about that. And yet, again, the question is, what essential oils are being put in there? Are they some of these that are not safe? And that's going to make the whole product not safe. And yet, if somebody is already using those things in their home and then they introduce a quality oil, essential oil, and the animal reacts, they will immediately blame that essential oil. It might be that the animal had tolerated those dangerous substances in the house for a long period of time, and they were just at that edge where they were going to start to have some real issues, and it just was a coincidence as far as the essential oils being added in. Has the animal recently received vaccinations or given flea and tick medication? And a big question is here, is this a new flea and tick medication for them? What was their reaction? Maybe they didn't initially react at all, and so you thought everything was fine, and yet they were just getting to a point, those vaccinations, it takes about 48 hours before you can really tell that everything is fine. So again, if essential oils are introduced during that time, it may not be the essential oil at all. It might be that flea and tick medication or maybe some other kind of medication. Is that dog lying on blankets or bedding that has been washed with dangerous detergents or fabric softeners, or especially dryer sheets? Studies have shown that dryer sheets are the most toxic substance we have in our home. And so again, if the dog's been laying on those blankets or bedding for a long time, they may have been tolerating it, but now all of a sudden their body is getting to a point where it can't tolerate it anymore. And yet at that same time, we're adding in essential oils, and what gets blamed? The essential oils. What is the dog eating? Is he getting dried kibble with no nutritional quality, or even canned food with minimal quality? Is the dog having to breathe secondhand smoke or some kind of unhealthy room freshener like those plug-ins or air freshener sprays? And I'll always ask people, have you tried other essential oils on the dog? And did you dilute them? And often they're surprised by that question about dilution. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a couple of minutes. When we talk about using oil safely with your dogs, you need to always be very aware of your dog's health and any issues that he or she has. We never use the oils in the ears, the eyes, the nose, or the genitals. And we do use caution with pregnancy, if they are nursing, if they are a very young dog, or if they are on certain medications. Topically, which with the dogs, which means putting it actually on their skin. If they are already using a topical medication or a dermal patch that was either applied by or recommended by the veterinarian, we do not use the topical application of essential oils. Now, we also wait 48 hours before we use any topical application of essential oils if the dog has had topical flea and tick prevention products put on them in that length of time. We do not use any xylitol products with our dogs or any other pets. The only two products that contain xylitol in the doTerra product line are the human toothpaste and beadlets. And so don't use this toothpaste to wash your dog's teeth. Now, if an animal does seem to have a negative reaction to the doTerra oils, what you would not do is rush them to the sink and wash them with water, because oil and water don't mix. And so they would not, that would not benefit them because it would not dilute the oils. What you would need to do is apply some fractionated coconut oil. But more importantly, what we need to recognize is that essential oils are excreted through the body very quickly. The reaction is going to be very short in duration. In dogs, it's only about 9 hours. So the negative reaction is not going to be long lasting. Now, we always want to keep oils in a safe place away from the dogs. We don't want them knocked off the table. And we know that tails can knock stuff off tables very easily. You've got two potential problems here. First of all, broken glass. So then if the dog were to walk through that glass, he or she would get a laceration, a cut on their foot. There might be a toxic amount of oil if the bottle is broken, and this might be toxic for just about anybody. And it would be especially bad if it's an oil that's not normally used around dogs. So we need to be sure that those bottles are kept in a safe place, as should the diffusers be. Again, we don't want the diffusers knocked off the table. Another precaution, I would say, is if you're going to apply oils to yourself, wait for at least 30 seconds before you touch the animal, because we want it to go through you first. And like we said, this happens quickly. But if we wait that 30 seconds, then you won't actually be applying that oil topically to your animal. Now, oils that we avoid around dogs: tea tree, birch, and wintergreen. These cautions are primarily for topical use. If they have the ability to leave the room, you can certainly diffuse these oils. So if they are in the room when you start the diffuser, they can sniff it and go, I don't like this, and they can go ahead and leave the room. They are going to be fine. Other precautions, if the dog has epilepsy or is prone to seizures, has any kind of clotting or bleeding disorder, is on an anti-diabetic medication, or as we said earlier, is pregnant, we do use other precautions. Now, dilution. It's important to realize that animals are not just small children. Like humans, they are each individuals. They each have their own specific body chemistry, and their response to the oil is going to be totally dependent on that body chemistry. That's why they may like one oil, but not like another. If the oils are going to be used topically, you're going to end up diluting them maybe more than you might think. What you're going to do when you put an oil on topically is observe the animal's behavior for about 15 to 20 minutes. And if everything is fine, but you're not quite getting the results that you had expected, you can carefully increase the amount of oil and until you get those expected results. Now, with dogs, specifically, our dilution percentages are here If the dog is under 20 pounds or 9 kilograms, it's 0.5% for what we call hot oils, and we'll talk about that in another video, or for smaller dogs. We go up to 3% for larger dogs with gentle oils. So if you would like more information on specific information regarding correct dilution for the use of oils with the dogs, in the comments, type the word dilution, and I will get that information to you. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Like I said, don't forget to put the word dilution in the comments, and I will be glad to help you to know exactly how many drops of oil to use in what size bottle in order to use that oil on your animal.